も古の魔女は
このお方は慈しみ深き女神リレナ様です。
はい。
The simp god 𝐿𝐶 has arrived. My god. The word simp, was a recent word that was established probably in the past, 3, maybe 4 years. It's a fairly new word. And it's not one that's really in my vocabulary at all in any way, shape, or form. And I probably have a lot of different views on that. I think at the end of the day, it just means, kind of being obsessive with no hope. And I think, this god, 𝐿𝐶, embodies the word of that. He's a desperate man or a desperate god who fell in love with his creation. And through the simpage of time, he has been trying to get this woman to love him throughout countless lives and generations. And each time she's like, nah, bro, ain't about that life. And it is hilarious and sad that this god has transcended worlds for this woman, and she's still like, nah, dude, like, nah, I'd rather marry the broom. Like, it's funny, and it's sad in like I don't feel bad for him. It's sad as like, yeah, that's sad. Like, that's some sad-ish right there. But the simp god is real. 𝐿𝐶 is real. We have a lot to unpack this episode, but here, if you happen to click off because you're like, yo, this guy's voice is annoying or whatever, then here's my detail on the episode. 9 out of 10 episode. I think this episode was excellent. I think overall the writing of Endo and Kobayashi is absolutely incredible. I enjoy the way it does its storytelling, the way it has the duality of the worlds, the way that the worlds are interconnecting. And this episode provided context to all of that, which I'm going to cover here in a second. But if you were to click off, I would say that this episode, the way that it ended with 𝐒𝐻 proposing to Lise, I think if the season ended on that note, I feel like I would have been satisfied with that ending, with them conquering the Witch of Yore, and with it ending right there. Although I might have had another couple of questions, I think like if that was the ending, super solid. And the fact that we got a super solid ending in not even the final episode, I think is a huge testament to the great writing of the show itself. Now, like I said, we have a lot to get through, so if you clicked off right there, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like before you leave. But look at all this crap, y'all. So, when I go through anime and I'm watching, I take notes, right? I pull up a Google Doc and I just kind of passively take some notes as I'm watching, and I'll kind of note stuff. But oh my god, like I have almost a page and a half of notes, where usually I have about a page of notes, and there's just so much to cover on this episode. So I'm going to try and just kind of break it down in little segments and give my opinion on them as I usually do. So with this episode specifically, I'll probably jump around a little bit in context for things that occurred, but essentially you find out that the Witch of Yore, she basically Lise broke through the Witch of Yore's attempt at overcoming or taking over Lise. She did this through love and the love of 𝐒𝐻, so that was all amazing to see her overcome the curse. She not overcame the curse, she broke the curse completely and awakened or awoke the goddess of creation. And the goddess of creation, her name is Lorena. So she is the goddess of Lorena. And the story is Lorena and 𝐿𝐶, the simp god, were both one being at some point, and they broke into two because they were excessively lonely. What a story that this god broke himself, or broke herself, broke themselves into two people to spend time with one another, and they spent time and they loved each other. They then decided to create a world, much like the story of just God. They created a world. They created Adam and Eva. I don't know why they changed it to Eva. Just name it Eve. They're going to use Adam. They didn't say Adame. They just named it Adam and Eve. But whatever. They created Adam and Eve. And essentially what ended up happening, Adam and Eve began to procreate. And at some point, 𝐿𝐶 ended up falling head over heels in love with Eva or Eve. And the story is that because he fell in love with her, he rejected the love of his other half, Lorena, which he was like, I can't love you, you are me kind of thing. It's like, well, that's how partnerships work, bro. You know, you have this lady giving you your love. Like, you guys aren't one being anymore. But they do share a consciousness in a way. But essentially what ends up happening is he goes after her so hard. He tries to love her all through time. She dies, she reincarnates. She dies, she reincarnates. He keeps trying to make her love him. She always rejects him. And at some point, he decides to become human himself. Lorena stops him, which all this is incredibly interesting. Lorena stops him. They enter a huge battle. This battle causes Lorena to fall into deep despair and hatred for Eva, as well as loathsomeness for herself, becoming the Witch of Yore and this calamity throughout the world. And based on Lorena's attack, 𝐼𝐶 gets sent to another world or another universe, which is why he's in the real world with Endo and Kobayashi now. And he spends his time by inhabiting other humans. And right now he's inhabiting 𝐒𝐶𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥, something like that, whatever that guy's name is. So that whole entire story, 10 out of 10 backstory, freaking incredible. I really love that whole entire thing, learning all of that. That basically a lover's quarrel is what brought about the potential end of a real world. So as 𝐼𝐶's in the other world, what he did, he basically needed to create a pathway or a link to the prior world he had. So he used 𝐒𝐶𝐚𝐧𝐽𝐻 or 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐻, whatever this guy's name is, to create the magic koi game. And that's how he used his path. He opened a pathway to that world by allowing players a ton of different routes. That's why he did an Otome game, a ton of different routes to open up a path of a route to where he had success, so he could get back to that world and get back to his plan. And still, Eva, which is 𝐵𝐵, plot twist, which is 𝐵𝐵, back to him, and he's gonna put 𝐵𝐵 in a vessel in this world. And originally I thought the vessel was Kobayashi, but they didn't really express that at all. So it could be Kobayashi. It could be Kobayashi's sister, because we see her get kidnapped. We don't really know, but he did call Kobayashi Eva a couple of times. So there's some potential there for Kobayashi to just be involved in this mix. But regardless, his whole plan gets messed up because Endo and Kobayashi opened up a different path that even himself couldn't see, and it basically screwed over all of his plans. And Lorena regains her goddess form. Solid. And we learned that the reason Endo and Kobayashi could talk to Lise and 𝐶𝐽 even more so than 𝐼𝐶 could is because they share a bond of one-sided love that's so strong. In this case, it's Endo to Kobayashi, and in the other case, it's Lise to 𝐶𝐽. And because they shared that, they were able to hear each other. Plot twist and embarrassing. So that was incredible. And then the episode obviously ends with Kobayashi's sister getting stolen by 𝐼𝐶, just leading into more. Either they're using her as bait to get Kobayashi, or she is the vessel and he's trying to force feed his plan some way, shape, or form. When they get back to their room, they see the screen glowing at them, so there might be some kind of interparallelity there. But regardless, oh my god, effing incredible episode. Easy 9 out of 10 episode. This episode is so freaking entertaining, and we learned so much. But man, 9 out of 10. Enjoy this. If it ended on the note of 𝐶𝐽 proposing, I think that would have been an incredible ending. But we're going to get an even better one next week that kind of puts all of this together, and everything came together really quick. I'm still even absorbing it. But I've taken up too much time. Let me know what you guys thought about all this storyline and everything in the comments below. And my friends, I'm going to see you guys next week for the last episode of Endo and Kobayashi. All right. Peace.